Probably many of you were residents of the town back in the early 2000s, and we definitely had a water quality problem.
The number one complaint that was happening around 2008, 2009, 2010 was just what's going on with the water.
We had residents showing up at select board meetings to complain about their rusty colored water.
I distinctly remember this one email that we got from this one mom, and she shows you a picture of her bathtub, and there's a little baby's toy, and the water looks like it's iced tea. We had no filtration. We were trying to treat it with chemicals, but it clearly wasn't doing the job.
You have a high mineral content at each of the well sites, so iron, manganese, etc., will provide discoloration certain times of the year. So when you have pipes in the ground that are 100 years old that haven't been replaced, they're all old cast iron pipes. They mineralize over the course of time. They actually flake off. They create deposits in there.
And that infrastructure, not only here in town, all over the state and all over the country, has been left sort of, they call it disinvestment. Well, that's because no money has gone into it.
We've heard horror stories all across the nation of communities and cities that have ignored or abandoned their drinking water system, and it has resulted in near catastrophes for those communities. We don't want to be there.
We had been working on water main replacement and ensuring the quality of our water through treatment at the wells and rehabilitation of the wells.
Or that type of system is easily 20 years behind the norm, but this was something that we could no longer ignore.
So we began the process of saying, what is the real solution?
And then the idea of the centralized water treatment plant came along.
There are a handful of things that communities do that are absolutely essential to the well-being of the community. If I had to put something even closer to the top of that list, would be the ability to provide good, clean drinking water, safe drinking water for the members of the community. And that's really what this is all about. So it's not a function that we're ahead of the curve with centralized treatment, we're catching up.
From those select board meetings where we had some pretty upset residents, some action has been taken.
Working with the select board, working with the water advisory board, working with the planning board, working with the conservation commission, you name it, Board of Health. We worked with a number of different boards, and especially the residents of the community, to try to make this a reality.
This plant was presented in 2018 to fall town meeting to let the community know that we have a quality issue, we have a quantity issue, and we have a distribution system that we need to maintain.
In our town of Medway, we consume, on average, 1 million gallons of drinking water every day. That's over 300 million gallons every year.
Many towns have that. It's not a new concept, but it was new for the town, and it was obviously going to be a lot of money, and that's challenging, but we've worked really hard to show why it's necessary.
The first things that we did was we hired a new water department manager, but then we also put together a committee.
The committee started about a little over 2 years ago. We started during a pre-construction phase, and we worked with town leadership and the existing water treatment leadership to develop a program for the new plant.
That committee began the process of hiring a design firm and going through and building out the design for the project that you see here today, and then going through the selection process to hire a contractor that had this kind of specific experience building these types of facilities.
Because our mission with the project in the town is to provide the best quality facility that will last several decades.
So most people don't realize that it takes all of this to now provide the filtration and so forth that is necessary. They don't understand the pumping, from the wellheads, all of that kind of stuff. Pretty much all they really know is that when I turn on the faucet, what they expect, and it's what they should expect, is that I'm getting good, clean, quality water.
The facility works is basically to really perform two functions, which is to treat water and to filter it. So water from 3 wells will come into this building as essentially what's called raw water. And when it comes into this building and it goes through the treatment and filtration process, it'll leave and go back into the distribution system as what we call finished water.
What the water treatment plant is going to allow us to do is to address all of the testing requirements at one source and treat it so everyone has the same water, and it's treated effectively and efficiently. We've created space in the new water treatment plant for PFAS. Basically, it's a chemical that has federal and state regulations, and you need to make sure that you're below a threshold to in the water that you do distribute.
And the requirements of what the state and the federal government will allow as safety levels is constantly being lowered, right? So, or they're raising the bar, right? They want less and less in the water. So one of the things we did was we made sure that we have space that now, when that technology is available, we can now quickly meet those requirements by bringing in that additional equipment without having to rip the building apart, build another addition. So again, we can quickly and for a lot less money meet those new requirements.
PFAS is a known toxicity for, it causes health issues, and there have been suits across the nation to address manufacturers of PFAS. It was commonly found in non-stick surfaces, so all of our frying pans that were non-stick had PFAS in it once upon a time. And so basically it's used in so many ways, in so many objects that we use in our daily lives, that it kind of became an issue before we realized that it was harmful to human health.
Certainly the water quality is going to improve. There's no doubt about that. You can't get any better than the type of filtration system that we're putting in.
The Department of Environmental Protection requires continuous testing of our water, so we always made sure that we had water that everyone could drink safely.
But folks should notice a difference, whether it's taste, quality, what have you, because we're pulling stuff out of the water that we weren't able to do before. Our water has always been safe. Make no mistake about it. The safety of the Medway water is not in question. But being able to properly filter it at a central location is going to do nothing but improve the overall quality. One of the things that any successful community is going to do is obviously going to prepare for the future. Deal with the current, but do it with an eye towards what is best for the town in a time going forward, at a time yet to come. And that's what this system does.
One of the things that we've worked really hard to do is that whatever we're doing now, it is with an eye, not just for the next couple of years, but looking out 20, 30, 50 years. So again, the capacity of this plant is built with the idea of what is Medway going to look like 25 or 30 years from now? How many residents? How much demand is there going to be for water? And are we going to be able to now meet that demand? And that was part of the design of this project.
This facility has a capacity of 2.1 million gallons a day. Now, as we said, Medway uses on average around 1 million gallons a day. The advantage of having 4 filters is that the professional staff here, all certified drinking water operators, can have a filter offline for maintenance, or if they need it for extra capacity, so there's a redundancy built in.
This is an exercise in creating a quality of life improvement at every step of the way that we can do with the community. Being able to provide good, clean, safe drinking water is an absolute essential. That's what this type of facility does.
Well, I'm proud to be part of it, as I say, to be able to give back to the town and to serve on a committee that's as good as this committee is, and to be part of seeing a facility like this being built and being managed by the skilled people that are managing it, and as I say, bringing it in on time and on budget. It's really satisfying for me. I've enjoyed doing it, and I'm glad I volunteered to take the position.
This is a team effort, as I said, that didn't include just staff. It included staff working with proper consultants. It was a great design and project management team that we employed to do this. The contractor's done a fantastic job with it, but most importantly, it's members of the community that came to the table, discussed this, understood this, recommended this, championed this, and have now been part of an actual solution that, yes, this is fantastic. I couldn't be prouder of the work that folks have done on this. This has been an ultimate team effort.
I'm very proud to have been one member of the select board over all these years to now see all of this finally coming to fruition.
This had to be a facility that accomplished many things in a small space, and I feel strongly that it has.
So it's all part of this one big infrastructure project that will now, going forward, guarantee that we're going to have high-quality water for everybody in Medway. Everything that we do, whether it's water, whether it's sewer, whether it's our roads, whether it's our playgrounds, it's our schools, that everything that municipal government provides to the citizens is the best that we can provide for the cost that, for the people, what people are paying in taxes and usage fees. So our goal, again, is to be the most efficient community that we can be for all of our residents.
It's a great sense of accomplishment because it's a big piece of the water system, and I think people are going to be pretty pleased with the outcome and moving forward.
It's all about the people. I think the community truly cares about each other.
As I've said to our team here, and we've talked about this internally on a regular basis, this is not something you can get wrong. You can never get drinking water wrong. You have to get it right all the time. And that is one hell of an expectation to put on people's shoulders, but you can't have anything less than that.